I think he sounds to Sierra Gateway. Yeah.
Sierra Gateway
Cottages Kernville? Sierra Cottages Kernville.com. Kernville@gmail.com. There it is. Just gonna click on that. Got it. Yeah, I'm gonna get off the website. So it says
Still doesn't.
I'm muted. Looks like I'm unmuted.
Are we supposed to share screen?
No. No countdown yet. But we can go ahead and enter my name and join the screen. Yeah, still not quite loading.
on the West Coast, and it's time for Happy Hour with the Hombre. Hello and welcome to our first ever episode of Happy Hour with the Hombre. This is the first time ever that I'm doing this, so there might be a little hiccups going on through here. We'll work things out. Hopefully it will be really good for you guys. Wanted to kind of give you an idea how things will happen tonight. We have special guests tonight with Cazcanes Tequila being here. You guys are allowed to ask questions. I encourage that. You do that through the chat that you'll see on the right-hand side of your screen there. And if you look below, if you want to support the channel, you'll see a $sign below there. You guys can do some super chats or stickers as well, and that helps support what I'm doing here with the channel, as well as some of the other stuff that I do for the tequila world. All right, let's not waste any more time. Let's bring our guests in. So first, I'd like to bring on Colin Edwards. Colin,
I'm right here. How are you guys?
And master distiller of Cazcanes. I'd like to bring on the CEO, John Paul Fortunati.
How's it going, tequila lovers?
And then we have the co-founder and head of Mexican operations, Jose Santillan, and the co-master distiller, or the master distiller, Francisco Chico Jimenez Lescaro.
Colin. Jose, Mark. Chico.
Hey, Chico. Hey, Jose.
So hey, you guys a little background on how I found out about this brand. I started doing videos here on the channel telling you guys about great tequilas, and I got a message from John Paul saying, I love your channel, I love your videos, and I'd like for you to take a look at our tequila. They sent me some tequila to sample. I did the video. You can see the video on the channel for the number 9 Blanco, which I absolutely love. And you guys probably remember the video being posted that said that I watch out for Fortaleza, because I think it's one of the best lowland agave Blancos I've ever tasted. After that, we kind of became friends, and we keep in touch, and they kind of let me know what's happening with their products. And we also are doing a really special buy, which we'll talk about towards the end of this live stream. But first, what we're going to do is get into how this tequila came about, and a little bit about the co-founder, Colin. So Colin, can you tell us a little bit about your background and you know, how you got into wanting to create a tequila?
I have a background in wine making. I make wine for it's a private label, and I was always interested in agave, and I heard of my brother ran somebody in June Lake, a bartender that knew people down in Jalisco, down in Guadalajara area, and he had mentioned that to me at a family function, and it just stuck in my head. And like 6 months later, I asked him, if you run into this person again, could you get his phone number? And by chance he did, and I got his phone number, and I went to Mexico, you know, to check it out. He had an uncle that had a distillery, and I went and checked that out. Jose picked me up in the car from the airport, and we launched Cazcanes after, you know, shortly thereafter. I couldn't really find any tequila that on that first trip that I liked. So the second trip and the third trip and the fourth trip, we started really branching outside of the traditional tequila factories, and we actually ended up moonshining in the jungles of Jalisco, and we did that for several years. What's that?
What was that like?
I could write a book about that, actually. It was beautiful, sometimes very sketchy, and quite a learning curve there. And that's where Cazcanes was born, really. It was out of in the jungle.
So did you see something?
We hadn't had a way to.
Did you see
What's that?
with the moonshiners that you haven't seen have you seen something there with the moonshiners that you hadn't seen with other producers that really interested you, or?
It was just how simplistic it was. You know, we didn't have electricity, the old car motor with a shredding wheel on it, at like a Molino. It was really spectacular. We had a 300-liter still that was fire. We used wood fire on it, and the same in a brick oven that was all wood fired. Very small batch. But where we were at, it was the only economy in that little village was that still. So there wasn't a gas station. I mean, to get there, you had to drive through a river. There's no store like that. So if you want a bicycle or a car battery, you have to trade it, you know, for moonshine. And, you know, we'd fill up with crushed bottles or whatever. And so I started bringing those bottles. I would take our tequila that was made in the jungle and put them into other people's bottles. We'd buy the cheapest tequila you could buy in Guadalajara, and we dump it out and in our hotel room or wherever we were staying, and pour our tequila in them, and then I could bring them to the States. And in doing so, I would bring them to, you know, parties, you know, 4th of July parties is kind of where it was all started. And people were like, I want to get behind you. I want to start writing checks. I want you to make this real. And so we did. We raised some money, and we went down and we partnered up with Landeros, who was a fledgling company there in Southern Tequila, and been with them since. They're family to us. And
I actually heard that you helped them get certified with the CRT. Is that correct?
Yeah, that would be Jose. Can you Jose
Yes.
lives in Mexico.
So I live in Guadalajara, resident from Oso Tipaquillo, right in between Tequila. Tequila's right in between both of them. So what happened was Familia Landeros, you know, they're our actually family. One of the partners there is family to us. And they were a distillery. And what happened when we came in and we decided to help each other how, you know, we needed a place to make a good tequila. They were making good tequila, but they were not, they didn't have a number yet. So what happened, we partnered up with them. We went through the process together. And from then on, we've been with them, and we've been, we're now $15.99.
And Chico, you want to introduce him? Chico, so he.
So he doesn't speak English, so I'll translate. If you guys have a question, I can ask him. But here, I'm going to let him say who he is, and then I'll translate to all of you guys, ¿ok? A ver, una introducción de quién es usted, qué es lo que hace, y todo por lo poquito. Así, algo. Y de quién es usted, cómo es que está aquí en lo del tequila.
Bueno, pues yo soy Francisco Jiménez Chico.
His name is Francisco Jiménez Chico.
Todos me conocen.
Like everybody knows him.
Yo entré a Familia Landeros en el año del 2017. Y pues ahí estamos haciendo tequila Cazcanes.
He started working at Familia Landeros in 2017. Right at the same time that we started joining him and partnered up, and the process was being made to become certified by the CRT. A little bit behind that, Cazcanes, Colin, and I, and you know the other funders started working on this project on 2014. So it took us 3 years to do the background work, to get the name, to get the bottle, to get everything, and then at the end, we launched Cazcanes in the U.S. in 2018. So that's how all the timeline of our process. And something else, a little bit of the experience that I'm going to let him tell you guys, and then I'll translate to you. Un poquito de la experiencia de su historial que tienen en el negocio del tequila. Les dice una parte y para ya lo traduzco.
Yo empecé con esto en el año de 1980 en una tequilera donde se hacía el tequila regional.
Okay. So he started in the tequila business in 1980?
En el 80.
In the 80s, in the 1980, in a tequila factory, El Regional, which I don't know, I'm pretty sure you guys have, it used to be a really, really good tequila back in the day.
Yo ahí entré como cualquier trabajador, empecé de abajo y de ahí fui escalando, fui aprendiendo a hacer el tequila hasta llegar a hacer el tequila como lo estamos haciendo ahorita.
He started working at that facility at the lowest, you know, I don't know, cleaning, chopping the agaves, putting it into, and then started going up to get into the point that he is right now, being a master distiller.
Pues no, ya hasta ahorita ya llegué de ahí ya llegué ahí a Familia Landero.
After that, you know, when he moved out of Tequila Regional, right after, as soon as he got out of there, he started working with Familia Landero. Empezó a trabajar ahí por su compadre.
Mi compadre Víctor, sí, él fue el que me contrató, él fue el que me...
Okay, so one of the founding partners at Familia Landeros, Victor Landeros, his compadre, which
cuñado,
brother-in-law, invited him over to work with him, and he's been there after. So.
Awesome. So, you know, you guys came out with your Blanco, and I know it's small batch, and I know you guys talk about this proprietary process that you came up with, and I know you can't really go into basically what it is because you're in the process of getting it patented. But can you give us an idea of what it's not? Because there's people that have been trying to guess what it is that you're doing, and some people have said carbon filtering and stuff like that. So can you I'm sure you've heard some of the rumors about what your proprietary process is. Can you kind of give us an idea of what it isn't so people know, you know?
It's not charcoal filtering. We've already kind of gone over that.
Right.
It's not rocket science. It's just something different that we doing it a different way. So I mean and there's not, I don't think there's any one, as Colin has said before, there's no one magic bullet or magic formula to our tequila. It's doing a lot of small things well, and all of those cumulatively add up to an amazing tequila. So I mean, our only ingredients are natural spring water that we get from the Novicia Springs, and agave, and then just it's naturally inoculated with yeast. We don't do a separate yeast. So it's, Colin, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
No, that's it. It's just we pay attention to detail. I mean, we don't buy, you know, a ton of fruit. We Victor mentioned is our agave whisperer. He goes out and, you know, it starts with the fruit. You know, we buy it when we find something that's exceptional, and we start there, and then you know, I like autoclaves. I know a lot of people like ovens, but we prefer an autoclave right now. And
then it's roller mill extraction.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you guys ferment in stainless steel, and then stainless steel stills.
Yes.
But what
Mark,
we do, volumes a little low.
I can tell you when we ferment, we have 5 fermenters, and what we don't do is fill one up all the way. We split the musto. We divide it into all 5. The impact is there's a lot of oxygenation, and it doesn't get too hot. You know, a lot of people will fill those things, you know, almost all the way to the top, and they get really hot, and it's hard to thermoregulate those. So we do a lot of things differently, but like John Paul was saying, is that add up in the end. You know, when we fill the stills, we don't fill them all the way. You know, we do small very small proportions.
How big is your typical batch?
Well, we just ran 3. How many were we pulling on those?
Every batch is about 7 tons in the autoclave, and so we usually do a 21 ton autoclave. We divide that. I mean, a truckload, and we divide that. And but it all depends on the agave. That's what, the agave situation right now is super hard, super expensive, and there isn't really much out there. So that's why, even if we wanted to produce, it took us a month the last production to get the agave. And every batch, it's about 800 liters. So 3 batches, 2,400 liters. It's 3 batches out of 1 truckload.
Yeah, there's one of the questions that one of our listeners wanted to know, and they wanted to know why is the price on the Blanco so high? Can you give us an idea of what you guys are looking at cost wise in the production of this, and causes you to come in at a price point like that?
Well, part of it is, we've shopped the agave. We don't just buy any garbage agave that's on the market. So Victor, who's our agave whisperer, will go out there, and he's always on the hunt, and him and Jose are always in constant contact. So we're not just going to buy agave just because it's available or just because we need it. So we typically will spend more money on our agave because it's a good batch of agave. So we'll wait until we find a good agave. That's one thing. Another thing is, obviously, we're doing very small batches. I mean, as I've told you before, and Jose just said, I mean, that's a very small batch compared to some of these big companies are doing. I mean, they're making that an hour, so that's why the costs are there. I mean, because our costs are higher. I mean, when you're doing it in small batches, I mean, it's just the bottom line.
Yeah, I could completely understand that. And I know when you guys launched the Blanco, it did quite well in the competitions that you guys entered it into. Can you talk a little bit about the competitions and what kind of honors that you guys have won?
Sure. I mean, I can. So 2017, we got a double gold from San Francisco Wine and Spirits. And then 2018, we got another double gold. We got best tequila, best unaged spirit. Is that everything, Colin, or was there another one in 2018?
Best Blanco, best tequila out of all the tequilas, Blanco, Añejos, and Reposados, and best unaged spirit.
Okay. So we swept it in 2018. And then 2020, we got a gold on our repo from SIP Awards. And then just recently, the Beverage Testing Institute gave us gold medals across the board for all of our expressions. So the Blanco got 95 points, the Repo got 94 points, and then Añejo got 94 points. And then we've also been featured in Forbes multiple times. We were in the top 18 tequilas to try right now, and that was by Forbes. We also in a Forbes gift guide. I saw Tequila Aficionado Dave. You're on here. They gave us a. How you doing, Dave? They gave us a gold, a brand of promise. So, I mean, and we appreciate all this stuff that all the different accolades that we've been receiving. So.
And I give you a really good review as
well. And then of course, Mark, the Tequila Hombre here.
Okay, so I really do enjoy the Blanco. I think it is one of the best kept secrets in tequila because there's a lot of people that really don't know about you guys. So I'm kind of glad to be able to have you here to let people know about the brand. Can you give us an idea why it was number 9, and will those numbers change in future batches, or what's the significance of number 9?
So the number 9 signifies that it's our 100 proof variety. If it's a number 7, it'll be 80 proof. So, but we're moving. Currently, we're going to move till everything's 100 proof. As you noticed, that extra añejo that you tasted, that was 100 proof, and currently everything that we just produced, those last batches that Jose was talking about, those are all being done at 100 proof. We're barreling at 100 proof. So all our aged expressions are going to be 100 proof. In the past, it was our Blanco was 100 proof, and then the Repo and the Añejo were both 80s, but we're going to go 100 proof across the board. Not to say in the future we won't ever produce an 80 proof, but currently that's the direction we're taking.
Okay, great. And so with you guys have a Reposado right now and an Añejo?
Correct.
So how long is the Reposado aged for?
Colin?
I like them young, so 65 days, 70 days. Depends on the barrel. We go down. Well, we pay a lot of attention to the barrels. I don't know if John Paul told you. We have a committee in Mexico that, for example, the extra añejo that you just reviewed, that went through 3 different committee vettings. These are profile people down in the tequila world, and we do blind tastings, we take notes. I keep all those notes, and we decide what barrels should be released now, what we should let age longer, what we might want to blend, and then we experiment with those. We experiment with them at different proofs. For example, one of our, to go through, let's say we're going to taste 7 barrels. That's a 2-day, maybe a 3-day process. By the time we go through all the variables that you can do with those, and there's probably at least a dozen experts involved in the whole process, and so you should come down. We'd be delighted to have you.
I definitely would love to.
Hey, you can join the next panel.
When you guys do the reposado, like you blend barrels, right? It's a blended batch.
Yeah.
Sometimes we blend them. Sometimes if we love the way the barrel's tasting, we'll just let that go. We'll bottle it.
Single barrel.
Yeah. We've done it. We've never marketed it yet that way. We for sure have done it.
Okay, and then how long does the añejo typically age for? I know it's probably different periods, but what's like an average period?
Oh, Jose would be better on the averages.
Let me chime in on that part. Like Colin said, we taste them every time before we release any product. We get together and we start tasting them all. We get all the barrels that we're going to look into. If it's 12 barrels, 6 barrels, whatever that is, we get about a liter out of each barrel. We first look into the colors, and if it's too light, we do the whole thing, and then we taste them. We blend them. We do all this. We've had reposados 2-3 months. We've had a reposado for 8 months. We don't have an exact date. There's another añejo that we're gonna get out in about a month or 2 as well, and that's a 2-year añejo. The añejo before that was 14 months. So it goes from 14 to the most we're going to do is a 2-year. And the extra añejo that we're about to release is 37 months. So it's really hard for us to say it's always 12. It's not. We don't do it that way. If it's 12 months, if it's 12 months, we'll get it out in 12 months. But if it needs to be there for another 2, 3, 4 months, we'll blend it or do whatever we need to do. We'll do it.
Yeah, it's hard because the barrels have different expressions in them. So it's really it's barrel by barrel. I would say, we just whatever tastes perfect, we'll release it. And what needs to longer, and if need be, we'll blend it. But it's really it's what we do. That's that our handprints are on literally every step of the process. We're there and paying attention to every drop.
Well, that's kind of interesting to know, because then you can know that the flavor differences from one batch to the other. You buy a bottle of Repo from one batch, and then you buy a bottle of Repo from another batch, and you could have a completely different flavor profile because of the barrel that you guys used, and whether it's a single barrel or whether it was a blend of 2 different tasting barrels.
Yeah, I think Colin told me at one point, he's like, the only thing you can guarantee is that it's going to be delicious.
And it is. It really is. So let's talk about this special extra añejo that we're doing the buy on. John Paul, you want to kind of talk to us a little bit about that?
So yeah, I mean, you talked about it in your review, but there was a barrel that we found that was exceptional. I believe it was a number 2 barrel. We have our barrels. It was just our internal numbering, but that barrel went through the multiple committees, and everyone said, "Hey, this stands out. This is an amazing barrel." And then we all talked about actually just producing a cask strength single barrel special edition. So then with that, we produced a box design, which you saw some of the renderings. I have one of the prototypes here. So it's made with Parota wood, which is native to Mexico. And then we'll have the bottle in there. We also had some Jarrito glasses that were hand blown for us that'll go in that set. And we're only gonna have 180 bottles, just the amount that came out of the barrel. So super limited edition. And you've had the pleasure of tasting it.
I
but,
have. What happened when I tasted it? I've tried a lot of extra añejos in my time, and after I finished that video, I literally called up John Paul and said, "Are you kidding me?"
He did, and he said, "Excuse my French," and then he said it again, and he said, "Excuse my French," and I had sent it to you a week before that, and so
I've just been sitting here. I was working on some other videos,
and I thought he had to have tasted it, and then he called me that day and said, "Oh my," and I said, "Wait, you just tested it now?" He said, "Yeah, I only taste it right when I do the video. I want my reaction to be genuine," and so I was like, "Oh, I can't believe you sat on it for that long and didn't even taste it."
Yeah, it's excuse me, it's crazy good. It is crazy good. All right, so anything else you want to add about the brand you guys have? Well, how about let's talk about where they can find it if people want to buy it. I know you're in select states. What websites are you on where they can purchase it, and have it shipped nationwide?
So Old Town Tequila has it, so you can purchase that and get that nationwide. I think there's Liquorama. There's a few other websites that have it, but Old Town is a pretty reliable partner. And then we're distributed through Epic Wine and Spirits. So if there's any liquor stores or anybody out there that wants to purchase it through distribution, you can contact them. You can always contact us directly, and we'll put you in contact with whoever needs to be, depending on where you are. We just recently got picked up by Savannah Distributing in Georgia, so you'll start seeing it in Georgia more. And we're in talks with some distributors in Tennessee, Kansas, and New York. So hopefully we'll be moving into some. I mean, like Jose said, we've only been actually selling here for a pretty short period of time. I mean, and then with COVID, doesn't really help things. I mean, we almost lost a year essentially with that. But
all right, well, let's get into some of the questions and comments that we have from some of our viewers here today. We've got quite a few. Let's see. TE says Cazcanes is the best.
Thank you.
It is the best.
Thank you, TE.
We have Dave Denias, who says, "Colin and Jose, good to see you guys."
Good to meet you, Dave. It's been a long time.
Thank you for all your
Alan
support.
Luna says, "This is some damn good tequila," and I do agree with him on that. It is.
Thank you.
thank you.
I wonder if he's drinking the Blanco.
Probably. Vato wants to know if you can do a pairing with Vato cigars.
Oh, I would love that. I would love that. Maybe when this COVID thing's over.
Dave says
We
you're
could
looking
do
good these
that.
days, looking much better. So,
Thank you.
So Javier wants to know, he's from Mexico, and he wants to know where he can buy a bottle of Cazcanes Blanco in Mexico.
It's a good question, Jose.
As of now, the only place that we might be able to, that you can get it is if you contact me and then we go to the distillery. I can work on that. But as of, we're on the process of translating the labels, getting the marbetes with the Hacienda, and doing all the register with the CRT so that we can start selling in Mexico. So hopefully not too long, but a couple more months, and we should be starting to be able to sell it here in Mexico. Where we'll start, don't know yet, but probably the local stores in tequila, and they'll start moving from there. Especially because we've had several people wanting to buy the tequila here in Mexico.
All right, and Alex wants to know if they can get it in Canada.
We don't have
plans for Canada.
Yeah, I mean, we have plans for take over the world. I'm just kidding, but no, if we don't have a distributor in Canada yet, but if anybody has any leads on that, feel free to just shoot us an email. You can go to our website and contact us there. And I mean, we're open to any and all distribution opportunities.
All right, guys, there you go. If you're interested in getting involved in our buy, I'm the one that's coordinating it through my group. It's called the Tequila Barrel Collective. We partner with a retail partner who will ship it nationwide, so it's only in the continental United States. I did have somebody ask John Paul if they could pay extra to have it shipped to Hawaii. Is that a possibility?
Yeah, we could do that for sure. I just have to figure out what the extra shipping cost would be, and we can do that.
Okay, so there you go. Excuse me.
And the high proof repo would be available, Jose. Again, because we taste everything, we don't just kind of have a formulaic system here where it's X number of months we pull it out of the barrel. I mean, I probably would say another 3 months or so before we kind of
about 2.5, 3 months, and then if it's ready, hopefully if it's ready, then we'll bottle it. But if not, it could take us, I don't know, at least 6 more months, 3 months. So I would go with 3 months. 3 months.
Awesome. And then you guys are doing a special batch, and John Paul was telling me a little bit about that, where you're using agave from Los Altos, from the Highlands. When is that supposed to hit? And then is that going to have a different number? Is it going to be called something different? Or
so I think how we're doing that. So like again, as we kind of open this up, we're always looking for the best agave. We're not just going to buy whatever's on the market just because we need to produce tequila. So the last batch that we got was from the Los Altos region. Victor, our agave whisperer, was talking to Jose and say, "Hey, this is what we have available. This is amazing stuff. Let's do that." So our previous batches have all been Valle agave, and that's where what you're tasting there with the Blanco. But moving for this particular batch, it was a Highland agave. So moving forward, I think we're just going to continue that trend where it's like whatever the best agave available is, whether it's Highland or Lowland, we'll produce it. But then on the lot numbers, we'll make a delineation. So it'll say, LA, let's say for Los Altos region, or V for the Valle region. So when you get it, you'll be able to, and then you can compare and contrast two tequilas made in the same process, just using different agave. So I think that can be really interesting.
That'd be very interesting to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then do you guys have a favorite expression from Christian? So if you can go around, if you want to start, we can start with whoever and just let us know what's your favorite expression from the Cazcanes line.
Who wants to go first? You want to ask Chico?
Chico, what's your favorite expression?
Te están preguntando que cuál es de lo que tenemos de Cazcanes, cuál es el tequila que más le gusta, del blanco, reposado, añejo, extrañejo. ¿Cuál es su expresión favorita?
Para mí el blanco a 50 y el extrañejo que yo no lo había probado hasta ahora.
He says for him the Blanco 100 proof, and he was obviously he was with us when we tried the extrañejos, the 100 proofs.
El reposado está bueno también, pero
he says reposado is also really good, but his favorite expressions are the Blanco and the extrañejo. Maybe
es por el grado también.
It's because of the high proof. You get to taste more of everything.
And then for me, I prefer Blancos typically across the board. So the Blanco it was my favorite until this extra añejo. So I don't know now it's a toss up there. So the extra añejo is amazing. So those are my two favorites there. So I'll always be drinking the Blanco, and then of course as long as it's available, this extra añejo. So those are my two favorites.
Pick a favorite child or.
I like them all.
For me, the Blanco.
The Blanco is my go-to for a special occasion. I mean, I really love it. I love our extra añejo too. I like, but if it's my Blanco is definitely.
Now, the future extra añejos, they're going to be like blended barrels and stuff, right? It's not going to, you're not going to do a single barrel batch like this. This is kind of
typically
for us.
Typically, unless we find something that you never know. But I mean, typically it's going to be blended batches. Yeah. So we're going to have an extra añejo also come out. A standard. It's obviously going to be less expensive, and it'll be blended of the other barrels that we didn't pull out. So we'll have that also available soon.
When
that
are
hasn't
you expecting that to hit the market?
I think the extra añejo will be in about a month or so. Don't you think, Jose? It'll be in the States in a month. I mean, I don't know how long it'll take to get distributed out. Yeah.
What are you looking at as a price point on that for retail?
I don't know yet. Don't twist my arm on that yet, Mark. I don't know yet. We still have to figure out everything on that. And so somebody had asked to grow if we're going to grow our agave. I mean, that's
I was gonna ask that.
So we actually one of our board members and shareholders, he actually started growing agave.
2018.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
2019, 2020.
yeah. So that's we'll be purchasing agave from him, in the future. So we have that, and then we've talked about purchasing some other agave fields down there. So that is a possibility here in the future. Yes, it is.
Awesome. And then is Cazcanes available in the Chicagoland area?
We did talk to a distributor out there. He hasn't picked any of it up yet. So at this point in time, it would be online delivery, I think, if you wanted to get that.
What about
Unless
Old Town
you're,
Liquor?
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Old Town, they would be able to ship there.
Well, Old Town's had some issues with shipping lately, where their shipping is limited. And they can't ship to certain parts of the country. They said they're in the process of getting their license renewed. So some people in the East Coast and other parts of the country are having a hard time placing orders there. But I do know you guys put together a flight offering with them as well, where you can pick up the Blanco, Repo, and Añejo from them for a set price.
Correct. Yeah, we set that up with them, and it's a little bit of a discount because you're buying all three at once. So that's actually it's quite a bit of a discount. So I think that's a good offering if you want to try the expressions across the board.
All right, you guys. So there we go. Any more questions that anybody wants to ask Cazcanes while we have him here with us today?
I do see a question here from me, Matter.
Oh yeah, don't worry about that. He's asking about Coralejo.
Okay.
He's asking me a question.
Ours has no additives, nothing.
Yeah, we've been verified additive free by Tequila Matchmaker. Grover actually came down and inspected the facility, checked our CRT records, checked the product and all that, and we've been certified additive. We're actually one of the first distillers to be verified additive free. Now he's really making some headway, and he's starting to get a lot of distilleries that are additive free certified, but we were one of the first.
Well, and I heard the story too that Julio Bermejo, after he from Tommy's in San Francisco, after he tasted your tequila and judged it at the San Francisco Spirits competition, he was so impressed that he jumped on a plane and he flew down to see your distillery and spent some time there with Chico and the guys at the distillery.
That's true.
Yeah.
That was when we won Best of All. The next day we got he contacted the distillery, and then they called me, and then we got all together. We didn't even know. And he's like, "Hey guys, you guys don't know yet, but you guys won everything." And he was so impressed that he came and saw. And that's the first time I met Julio, that we met Julio, and it was really amazing.
And Julio's a good friend, and he's super passionate, and he knows good tequila. I love talking to him about tequila. Now, there's another question too. They want to know if tours of the distillery are available. Can people come down and see your distillery?
Yes. Well, you can either contact one of us, and then we'll connect you to the person that does the distillery. It's one of the partners from Familia Landeros as well. They have their own tequila. Rene. I can contact you. I can give you the phone number, or if you look at their tequila, Atanasio, you can find them and contact them directly, or through us.
And then I guess you have a friend that just came on, EBA 101 Boxing, says saludos, Jose Francisco.
Saludos. One of you,
All
buddy.
right, well, I think that's pretty much all we have for this evening's live stream. I want to thank you guys for joining us today to tell us about your fantastic tequila. I look forward to working with you on this extra añejo special deal, and it's like I'm going to be sipping on this later. I should have been sipping on it here during the. But I don't want my bottle to disappear. I've already drank that much of it since I did the review at like for New Year's Eve, right, or New Year's Day.
Uh-huh.
And guys, if you've been thinking about it and wondering what about the $4.99 price, it's worth it if you're going to spend money on a really good quality tequila. When I rant and rave about something, it's normally pretty good. And there's been some tequilas that I've ranted and raved about, and everybody came back and said that they really do enjoy it. This one is phenomenal. I've paired it up against some other big hitters in the extra añejo category, and I actually liked it better. So if you're interested in that, check out our website, www.tequilabarrelcollective.com. There's instructions there on how to get involved. You guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really do appreciate
Thank you.
For taking the time.
Thanks for having us, Mark.
Yeah, okay.
And
Yeah,
if
it's a
anybody has
pleasure.
questions, is there a way that they can get in touch with you to ask questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. You can go to our website and then just there's the email address or contact form on there, and then you can get a hold of us there. We even have a phone number, it's 855 Cazcanes, if you wanted to give us a call.
And John Paul also is in our Tequila Talk group on Facebook. So you guys have questions about the brand there, you guys can ask questions, and he normally will respond. And if not, I'll tag him on it and say, hey, dude, respond.
Right, for sure. Yeah, no, definitely, for sure.
All right,
I'm not
guys,
always
thank
on
you very
Facebook,
much.
but-
I
All right.
appreciate your time, and thank you so much for letting me tell the world about this tequila, and thank you for letting me try it and tell the world about this extra añejo. I can't let you know how appreciative I am. So I just want to say thank you again.
Thanks, Mark.
All right,
Thank
guys,
you.
good night.
Thank you.
We'll see you on the
Thank
next
you.
week's episode.
Good night, everyone.
Comment below. Let me know what you thought, and if you have ideas for topics
Chico.
for future Tequila Hombre
Chico,
happy
bye,
hours,
bye.
comment below and let me know. And until next time, you guys, like I always say, life is too short to drink bad tequila, so pick up a bottle of Cazcanes, will ya? Salud.